Boxing is back with the IBO World Light Heavyweight Championship. Can Suarez take the belt? Or will one of Britain's brightest prospects, Lyndon Arthur, seize victory? Big Fight Live. Arthur versus Suarez. Friday at 10 on Channel 5.
Go on then.
Not bad. Going up?
Go on. This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Well, Spencer Oliver, you can still mix it with the best of them.
Well, you know me, mate. You know me. Do you know what that is, Cougs? That's carrying that extra baggage, mate. That extra couple of pound that I've put on over the years. That's what it is.
You try and stay still, mate. Because you are a swayer, aren't you?
Yeah, I am a swayer, mate. Do you know what it is? Because I'm really pumped. I'm really hyped at the moment. I'm excited for the fight on Saturday night. I'm excited just to be here, mate. I'm more excited that I'm speaking to you.
Love that, love that. These fights are always tricky, I think, these mandatory challenges, because it's not really an ideal fight that Lawrence wants. He'd rather the bigger fights. But still got to concentrate and make sure there's no slip-ups on Saturday.
Absolutely. Listen, David Light's come here and it's all about opportunity. And he's got that opportunity. He's 20-0, 12 KOs, but he's in against a tough champion to beat. And do you know what, Cougs? I've interviewed them both. And you know you can read body language. I like to work a lot on the psychological side of things and everything else. You look into a fighter's eyes, and as an ex-fighter, you could sort of read fighters and you can read their confidence and their you know, the energy coming out of them. Yeah, it's going to be a tough night for David Light. It's going to be a tough night, mate. I think stylistically, he's like guy that he's going to come with ambition because he's undefeated, and it is the opportunity. Lawrence, he's the type of guy you don't want to take a fight to because he's so heavy-handed with that right hand. He's been working with Sugar Hill. I was watching it last night. They've been working on doubling up on the jab, stepping back with the right hand and throwing the right hand through the middle and stuff. They've been working specifically on stuff that works against someone like David Light. David Light is, like I say, he throws the jab, he keeps the left hand quite low, and when he goes out, he pulls his head back and he goes out in straight lines. That could be bad for someone like a Coley. So I'm expecting a spectacular finish, and I reckon it could be over within 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, let's get it right. David Light's obviously earned the opportunity to challenge Lawrence Coley. He is undefeated, which is always a question mark about, because until they have been in that situation, we don't know. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. But I think alongside you, I think that kind of inside 4 rounds might not be a bad shout.
Yeah, good shout, mate. Good shout. That's where I see it. And that's because David Light will come to win. He'll bring the fight. But there is... You know, there are mistakes and there are holes in his defence. There are holes in his defence, mate, and that can be a big problem for someone like a Coley. I don't know how a Coley makes the weight, if I'm honest. He's that big. He's so broad. He's very tall. And I was speaking to Sugar, and Sugar said, mate, he makes the... Because I said, it's got to be imminent he's moving up to heavyweight. He said, yeah, one day. But right now, he's got a lot to do in the cruiserweight division, and he makes a weight comfortably. He is so big for a cruiserweight, man. It's insane.
We could see a situation... possibly that Lawrence moves up to heavyweight before a possible unification. We know he probably should have had a unification by now.
Well, no, I spoke to him just now, actually, Lawrence, and he said, look, he's not moving up until he has those unifications. He wants the unifications. He wants Richard Riakporhe. You know, he wants the Billum Smiths. He wants to clean up the British scene as well as the unification. So, you know, he's talking about hanging around for the immediate future. Anyway, so yeah, I think we will see those fights because, like, you know, your Billum Smith, who's boxing May the 27th down in Bournemouth, open air stadium, hoping for a world title shot on that date, and I don't think that's been announced yet, but they're hoping for that. I don't know what one of the champions they're hoping for.
Billum Smith, that has been announced, yeah.
Yeah, it's been announced, but the opponent
hasn't.
No, the opponent hasn't been announced. That's what I'm saying. I know they're hoping for a world title shot. So Billum Smith's in the mix. Riakporhe's knocking on the door. We saw the back and forth with him at Creed 3. That'll be a great fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I'd love to see that fight, to be fair.
Great fight. So, look, opportunity at the moment, the cruiserweight divisions. Why would you want to move up to the heavyweights when you've got so much in the cruiserweight division right now? So, yeah, I think we'll see Lawrence up there, but right now he's got a lot to do in the cruiserweight division.
Okay, what was your take on Tuesday? Were you there? You were, weren't you?
I was there, mate. I was sitting in the gallery, and at times I thought I was going to have to get up and I was going to have to go into the studio and break it up, because I've got to tell you, mate, it was more heated when they were in the ad breaks than it was when they were on air. And you know what it was like on air. Yeah, and then I went in for the last half hour of the show when Eddie finished at 12:30, and I walked in and Eddie dug me out, didn't he? He was like, oh, Ben Shalom, how you doing? He went, didn't see it, did you? No. I walked in and he was having a dig at Simon, I think, and he's like, oh, Ben Shalom, nice. Oh, no, sorry, it's Spencer Oliver. And I was like, oh, here we go. And I was like, all right.
Not so subtle dig there.
I know, mate. I found it quite comical, actually. But yeah, no, listen, I thought they both give as good as they got. I thought it was good. I'd like to see the rematch, actually. I'd like to see it again.
I'd like to see you in the middle. I think Jim White should sit the next one out, and I think you should be in the middle.
Listen, I think that's inevitable that it's going to happen at some point, I'm sure, mate. I just had to let them get on with it, if I'm honest. Like I say, I went in for the last half hour of the show, but I think there's going to be, like, do you know what? I can visualise what's coming. Do you know what? I know what's going to come.
Charity fight.
No. I can visualise like a show, like a Spencer Oliver, Simon Jordan, KUGAN, CASSIUS type
four-way.
A thing going on, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, you know, you never know. You know that me and Simon do a show, Talk Boxing. Yeah. We do that comes out on a Wednesday, actually. I think it comes out on a Wednesday. We film it on a Tuesday. Do that, and we mix stuff up and all that. And listen, mate, you'd be a great guest to get on there, because we had Robert Smith. We had one guest on before, in Robert Smith, but in light of what's gone on and everything else, I think it's inevitable you're coming in, Cougs, isn't it? It's got to be.
I'm already there, mate. Well, what can you tell us? Because I've heard like little snippets and rumours from various sources about what was said in the ad breaks, and I heard it got very, very personal.
Listen, it got very personal, and I'm not in a position to be able to say exactly what was said, but like I say, I was sitting there thinking, right, do I crawl under the sofa that I was sitting on, or do I go in there because it looks like it's kicking off? Do you know what I mean? I think that, as you know, they're both very opinionated, and they both were getting their point across. But while one was trying to talk over the other, people get frustrated, emotions fly high, and like, I'm thinking, fucking hell, mate, it's going to go here. But honestly, if you could have recorded what was going on in the ad breaks as opposed to what was going out on air, mate, it was fucking insane. It was brilliant. It was first class. Okay. Credit to Eddie and credit to Simon, because they both stood their ground. Do you know what I mean?
Simon seemed like he got a little bit, he probably wouldn't admit it, but he looked a little bit, when Eddie said that he wanted to slap him or was going to slap him or whatever, that seemed to have...
Put him on the back foot straight away, because Simon was like, whoa,
are we 12?
Are we going here now? Are we going here now? And then, like, when it started getting personal and Eddie started pulling in the Crystal Palace stuff and all that, like, Simon's like, be careful, mate. Be careful, because I know the legal system right now, and you're pushing the lines. And I think Eddie was like, yeah, all right, sorry, we'll move on with that one. But look, it got personal at times, but that was understandable, because they were both just going at it, man. It was quality. It was quality radio. Any of you guys that have not seen that, by the way, you can get that on the, I think it's TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel, or TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel. You'll get that full interview. But it was brilliant, mate. It was brilliant.
A compelling watch, I have to say. In our world of boxing here, to see this kind of come to a head, because we know there's been a lot of back and forth between Hearn and Simon over the last however long year or so, especially. But it was compelling viewing and very entertaining, and yeah, no harm done, I suppose, at the end of it.
Listen, not at all, mate. You know, they've both got opinions and they both stuck to them, and it is what it is. Listen, they're both big boys. They're both grown-ups. There's no harm done. It's like it's the sport that we're in. You know what it's like, Cougs. Like, everyone's got an opinion, and when you have an opinion, that sometimes pisses people off. And you go, well, listen, it's an opinion, mate. Or if like, I'm allowed to speak my opinion. I'm allowed to air my views, and that's the game that we're in, mate. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not a personal attack. I think it was a bit of fun, really. I think Eddie seemed to enjoy it. He was smiling after.
I think he won that battle. Eddie is convinced he won that battle.
Well, Simon is as well. So that's why I said we need a rematch, because, you know, Simon said, look, the questions, the hardcore questions that I threw at him, they're ones that we needed answering on. With Conor, with the British Boxing Board of Control, with not fucking presenting the evidence, rare. We never got the answers. I said, and that was what we was looking for. That was what the whole thing was about. Why is Conor, you know, forget the WBC, that's meaningless. Forget that being reinstalled, because he's not provided any evidence to get put back in there. But what he's saying is, give the evidence. If you proved your innocence, give the evidence. And Simon was saying to him, Eddie, why is he... and it was sort of going here, there, and everywhere. Who knows, mate? I enjoyed it, man. I was just wrapped up in it. I was like, it was good fun. It was good.
Okay, Spencer, I much appreciate your time. We look forward to a great week here in Manchester. Yeah, we're going to stick there on TikTok.
No, can I do it?
One more go?
Yeah, because the numbers were bad. Should we do it one more? Get it, Cougs. Just get this one, though. Just get this one, though. Just get this one, though. Liam Smith's watching this one, so I'm up my game, mate.
Liam Smith is actually watching this as well.
That one's harder. That's harder, mate. That's harder, mate.
No, it's not. Liam, are you sure?
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,